Hey guys, Trey Ketchum coming at you here with some thoughts for tonight's team meeting. Hopefully, the phone jam is went well rather, and you're gearing up for what's going to be an exciting SLC push. Here in just a few short days, the entire Vector Nation is going to be competing for 2 weeks and for recognition, prizes, trophies, and of course, a bunch of free cut goes. I'm excited to come at you guys with a few tips on how to maximize the beginning part of the SLC push. And the first tip that I'll give you is you got to make sure that you prepare both yourself, your family, and your friends that you're going to be busy the next 2 weeks. You're going on a quote-unquote vacation from partying, hanging out, socializing in order to make sure that you maximize and make more money in 2 weeks than they're probably going to make the entire fall semester. That's the first one, is prep your friends and family. Second one is prep your attack list. Make sure you've got 100, 200, 300 names and numbers. Make sure you're organized. Make sure you have a list of all your old customers so you can reach back out and contact them. But also make sure that you take the time to go through and reorganize all your recommendations. Go back through your rec list and make sure that you've got enough names and numbers organized there. Make sure that you go through all your old directories and see if there's anybody else you know. Make sure you call mom and dad and say, hey, mom and dad, who else do we know that lives here in blank area? If you go to school in a different territory than you worked at during the summer, can you see which are your customers, which are your favorite customers, which are the people that were most tied into your success this summer? Know anybody that lives within an hour of your current territory? If you live within 3 hours of your current territory or of your summer territory, can you come home and sell for the next 2 weeks and go all out? Guys, if everybody contributes a little, the division as a whole will do a lot. Last year was our first time we've ever won a divisional trophy as a division for the SLC push, and I know we can do it again if everybody contributes, but you got to prepare and prep your family. You got to prepare and prep your phone list. The other thing you got to make sure that you do is you got to make sure that you get rid of any and all important homework that's going to be due the next 2 weeks. Get it knocked out in the next 72 hours. Get it knocked out Thursday morning, Friday during the day, or Saturday morning if that's what it takes to be done with any and all important and pressing obligations that you have with school. The next tip that I'll give you is you got to make sure you have the right mentality. What I mean by the right mentality is you got to make sure you're on the conference call tomorrow night. Tomorrow night there's going to be a region-wide conference call. Your district managers have all the details for you. It'll be emailed out to you as well, and they can forward out to you. But make sure you're on the conference call. We've got two of the best in the business giving tips on how to go all out for the SLC push. We got a talk on preparation and a talk on execution. One of our own divisional champions, Ben Jackson, is going to be speaking on the first, and Andy Jonti is going to be wrapping it up. A perennial push performer is going to be talking about how to have a monster SLC push. So make sure you're on that conference call. If you're back in school mode and have not been thinking a whole lot about selling and haven't been doing a lot of the right things over the last several weeks to get yourself both the paychecks that you need and the consistency that you need to be successful, make sure that you're on that conference call. That'll help kind of shake off the dust or the rust that you currently have. So be on the conference call. The next big tip that I'm going to give you, and this one's huge, is make sure that you're ready to go all out this Sunday with a big push. By Saturday, have at least 100 names and numbers ready so that Sunday you can make between 75 and 100 phone calls to start your push off strong. Can you start your push with 5 or 10 appointments already lined up ahead of you? You're going to have a big push if you've got that many already lined up. Back that up with another 75 phone calls on Wednesday. That's all it takes. 250 phone call jams or 150 phone call weeks. You're going to end up making more calls than you've made ever in the fall campaign, and you're probably going to end up selling more and having more demos than you've ever sold in 2 weeks during the fall campaign. If you don't have enough appointments after that, can you make 10 daily phone calls in and around classes? It only takes 30 minutes. The easiest way to do it, I found, is go 30 minutes early or 45 minutes early to whatever your first class is. If that means you've got an 8 a.m. class, get there at 7:15. You can call people at 7:30. I know that may sound crazy. Keep in mind, it's the fall. People have kids that are going to school. Most schools start at 8 o'clock or 8:30 at the absolute latest, and 9 o'clock being if they have, like, I don't know, something wrong with that district. But they're starting at 8 o'clock, which means that the parents are up at 6 and 6:30 in order to get the kids ready for school. In many cases, if you're seeing people that are well-to-do and they go to private schools, they have to drive their kids to school, which usually means they have to get up even earlier because they have to leave even earlier. I have got friends and family that send their kids to school, both public and private, and they've got to be out the door no later than 7 o'clock in most cases to get their kids to school on time. Or they're getting their kids to the bus stop. So that sweet spot between 7 and 8 a.m. is an amazing time non-summer to get a hold of people. So even if you wouldn't ever make those calls that early during the summer, can you commit to doing that during this push and then eventually in the Olean push to have the biggest sales weeks of your non-summer career? That being said, also make sure that you're going back to the basics, and before Sunday, can you do a full demo walkthrough and record yourself doing it? I found by monitoring yourself doing a demo, you're going to find little flaws and little ticks that you have that you can go back to improving. You have your manager watch you do one if you really need extra help, but I think just recording yourself is going to help you be that much better going into the push. And then, of course, the basics that always apply. Things like, do more demos than you normally do. Make sure that you've got page 9 and 10 and page 21 memorized. Make sure you're bringing food on the appointment to cut up to have more fun with the customer. Make sure you're promoting Christmas gifts early. Those are all little extra tips that you could do to take it higher. But if you just do those first several that I mentioned, you're going to have an amazing push. As a reminder, divisionally, we're doing something special too. You sell $3,000 in the next 2 weeks, and you're winning the 3K to Feast. We'll be joining all the Division Push champions together for a night of celebration, food, and fun together here in the city of Atlanta. So you guys have an amazing wrap-up or rest of the team meeting. As always, no excuses, play like a champion. See ya.